Really shouldn't make those noises.
And we're live, so let's start the show here. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 42 of Millennial Gaming Speak. I am your host, Logan Moore, and with me is Max Roberts.
That's me.
That is you. How are you doing, Max?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness. Max is doing oh, goodness.
I kept our YouTube tab open, so all of a sudden our live audio came blasting through my headphones.
Bursting into your ears?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am not too shabby. Hanging in there.
Shabby at all. You platinumed Bloodborne.
I did, and it was very hard, and I drove myself insane. Bunch of really difficult bosses that you have to beat to get that stupid platinum.
Makes sense.
It's definitely my most rewarding of all my platinums at this point. So
it is. Mine's Hotline Miami.
See, I've really wanted to go back and do those, but I still haven't, and I don't doubt if I ever will.
Two's a tough one. I'm still working. No,
Okay.
I'm still working. I need hard mode, and I still have to get an A+ on all the levels, and I'm trying to decide which one's harder, hard mode or A+, because
hard mode would probably be manageable, you would think. Like, how is it harder? Do they add more enemies, or like the game? I mean, you're already dying in one hit anyway.
It's more enemies. They have better sight. They can see farther away. They're more accurate.
They can see further away, which is already not a good thing.
Dumb. It's hard, so hard. But thankfully, you don't have to get A+ on hard mode, so you can literally just slowly kill one at a time.
It's probably manageable, but very difficult to do.
Time consuming.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Bloodborne was really, really satisfying when I finally did it. It took me about 55 hours to do. But I really liked the game. I really only started to get frustrated towards the end. There's a couple bosses at the very end of the Chalice dungeons that really are just incredibly hard, and you have to. It's one of those things where you want to try to kill the boss as fast as possible, but the best way to attack it is to maybe do a little bit of damage to it here and there, and other than that, just running away and dodging. So it's really hard because you want to run in and you want to beat the snot out of it, but if you do, you will die. And the enemies have a ton of health. And in one of the dungeons, they have your health. So you don't have as much health as you would normally. And which makes even less hits, takes even less hits to kill you. It's really...
Oh my gosh, it sounds like a lot of work.
It was. One of the gold trophies that you have to get in the game took me probably like 10 or 12 hours of grinding just for one trophy. As soon as I got that, though, I had 3 more golds, and it took me maybe like 20 minutes to get the last 3.
Wow. Okay.
Because they're just variant forms of the ending. So you
just have to make a save and
reload it and beat all the
Gotcha.
Beat the final boss 3 times, which by the time I got to the final boss, I was such a high level because of the Chalice dungeons that it's pretty easy. I didn't really feel too stressed about fighting him. So
nice.
It's a fun game. I still think you should give it a shot.
There's so many games I have to give a shot.
But I've thought about getting Dark Souls, but I need a break. I need a break from the Souls games or the Bloodbornes.
You should
at least a little bit.
I don't know what you should play. I really don't.
Fallout, so that's not too bad.
Witcher.
We got The Witcher next week, so we're both playing games from last year that have got nice DLC expansions. Far Harbor's all right. I didn't care for it.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's not the best thing ever. I don't hate it by any means, but the terrain doesn't feel very unique. It just kind of feels
more of the same.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it's a little bit more of a swampland compared to the rest of Fallout 4, the Commonwealth. But yeah, overall, it's all right. It doesn't feel like Point Lookout did, which was one of the expansions in Fallout 3 that I really enjoyed.
Oh, goodness. I just yawned a bunch.
You're getting tired on our podcast.
Well, You
You
would
got
think I'd have enough sleep, but
you want some more milk and some cookies, and I'll tuck you in, and we can end the show early.
I would like some warm milk and cookies.
I don't know. Does anybody really drink warm milk? Is that a
I
thing?
think as a kid I had warm milk, but
I can never remember having warm.
not since I've been an adult.
Yeah, and
You
that's
pop it in the microwave.
yeah. I
The
guess if you're a baby, maybe,
mhm.
but that's the only thing I can ever think of.
There was I've been playing Persona 4.
Which I need to play as well. I actually should start playing that alongside you.
It's I've
I think I'm
I'm like on easy mode because difficulty isn't a trophy, so I'm just on easy and I'm using a guide. So really, I'm trying to experience the story and get all the trophies because everyone talks about the story and five's coming out in September or it's coming out in Japan in September, and I think that'd be an interesting game to pick up. I think it looks, at least the pictures I've seen, it's very stylish. So
yeah, I think
that's,
Persona 5 looks awesome. If you are you gonna get that, or we've kind of talked about this. Would you get that or Final Fantasy?
I don't know. I mean, the Final Fantasy 15 is very much like a Kingdom Hearts game in regard to combat, but I'd see. I really need to see how much I enjoy Persona 4 before I do any of that. Because 15 would be my first Final Fantasy game. But if I really like Persona 4 and the story and the characters and everything involved, I might go with Persona 5 because I'm like new and into this franchise. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
makes sense. Would you did you play the demo for Final Fantasy 15 that came out?
The platinum demo.
Was that the second one?
Tab.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
platinum demo.
Yeah, I have both demos. They're both good. The combat's changed a little bit since the original demo, episode Duske, but I mean, it screams Kingdom Hearts. So
So
I'm
you're all in,
obviously
obviously.
I'm all about it. Gosh, we're gonna get Kingdom Hearts news in a couple weeks.
We are.
It's either gonna be for 2.8 HD final remix, final chapter prologue,
This
or
franchise, man.
I know
Gosh.
it's ridiculous, or 3. I mean, either way, we're getting a certain Kingdom Hearts game.
We see like 130 to 45, or well, longer than that. We see like 2-minute trailer every year, maybe. That's about it.
Usually.
Uh,
Doesn't matter. It'll just keep me going. It'll give me energy for the
they
next
should have
year.
come out with 3 like 10 years ago. It's so dumb. I don't
It's
get
been
it.
such a long time. Anyway, that's really all I've been playing.
Yeah, I don't know what I think I want to go back and play Assassin's Creed Syndicate maybe
You
soon.
have that?
Yeah, I do.
How did I play that? I feel like,
I think you got it from Redbox and you installed it and played it for 5 minutes and said you hated it.
but why would I have rented it? Maybe I
'Cause
had
you
a
were
free
bored.
game. I had a free game. I was like, I would not have paid money to try Assassin's Creed out, but I did. I played it on Xbox, installed it, and thought it was dumb and everything I didn't want. So
Yeah, I mean, most Assassin's Creed games start out pretty slow though, so I don't know.
this one
We'll
didn't.
see.
I mean, it had a train section. It was cool. It's just not the Assassin's
You're
Creed.
kind of over the whole series, I think.
I want Brotherhood again. Bring me back Brotherhood. Anyway,
So yeah, that's our little farting around talking about what we've been playing at the beginning. That's about it.
let's get to the notable news.
So yeah, so we've got a couple news stories this week. Again, I feel like we're just kind of in a holding pattern until E3 at this point.
We have what, 2.5 weeks left.
Yeah, we're already talking about what our plans are for the show. Or for E3. We'll definitely let you guys know what we're gonna do. If you listened to the show last year, you know that we had a bunch of episodes breaking down each of the individual press conferences and everything we saw there. We'll probably do that again this year. May not go as expansive as we did last year, where we had one for
I think we had one for
Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Yeah, we had like 5 or 6 episodes last year.
Let's look it up. You ready?
I think we had one for Bethesda, we had one for Sony, we had one for Microsoft, we had one for, I think we combined EA and Ubisoft, and then we had a Nintendo.
Here, I've got our SoundCloud pulled up. Or do I? I don't know. View all tracks.
Pretty sure we had 5.
Now I'm super curious because they're going to be named something. It doesn't tell me the dates they were pulled. All right, E3 2015. We had Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda. That was it.
That was it.
Mm-hmm. So
So
we
we
had
did.
4
Oh
shows.
yeah, I remember that. EA's and Ubisoft's we didn't even feel like was worth our time in the end.
Seriously, all I remember from those pressers is Ubisoft specifically having South Park: The Fractured Butthole, which is still such a great name, and we're gonna see that
And
again.
it
And I
still makes me
really do
laugh.
hope. I hope we see Splinter Cell. Oh my gosh, how cool
I
would
would
it?
like to see the Ghost
Um,
Recon game, the open world one. That trailer was awesome last year.
yeah, but Splinter Cell.
I don't care for Splinter Cell too
Blacklist
much.
was so good.
Was that the last?
That
Yeah,
was
that
the
was the
last
last
one.
one. I didn't
Blacklist,
play
and
it.
I'm waiting as soon as either Blacklist or Conviction, especially, becomes on back compat for Xbox One. I'm going to GameStop and buying them for like $5.
Conviction wasn't too bad. I played Conviction and I
Conviction
liked
is
it.
such a non Splinter Cell game that it's great. It's just action, murder everyone. Stealth is not even a requirement. There's like a scene where you stab a guy with an American flag.
That's like the end of the game, isn't it? Or towards the
It's
end?
somewhere in there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like that game is so good. And then they took the really cool gunplay and the marking system and actually made a fantastic stealth game with it in Blacklist. Oh, they're so good. I need a new one. I need a new Splinter Cell in my
Wait,
life.
are those the only two you've ever played?
No, I've played the first 3. I did not play Double Agent
I played
or
Double Agent
oh,
once.
I'm sorry. I
It
hear Double Agent wasn't good.
wasn't good at all. It was so clunky for an Xbox 360 game. It was just so
Yeah,
not
no, I
comfy.
played the original, the first 3, so Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory, which Chaos Theory is regarded as the best. And then I've played bits and pieces of Conviction because I never had a 360, and then I played Blacklist. And Blacklist was fantastic. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we will start seeing. Maybe we could have a
we should have a predictions episode for sure.
predictions episode.
I
We're
predict
gonna be
for
tied up with
Nintendo,
topics. We're gonna be tied up with topics for the next couple weeks, but
we can have another thing about
we
it,
can
but
have a one-off episode or something. Maybe we'll
I
figure it
predict
out.
Nintendo will show off The Legend of Zelda.
That's a bold prediction, Max. Very bold. We'll see if it works out for you.
All right. So,
So, yeah,
notable
this
news?
week we've got a couple news stories, Max, and of course, Destiny has made the return to our
Ooh,
show.
I love it. Let's talk about Destiny.
No, no,
It's
let's
not.
not anymore.
Oh, come on, no, it's good. This is interesting. So last time we talked about Destiny, I believe, was when they pushed back Destiny 2 and they said we're gonna get our April update, which has passed, and now we're getting a bigger expansion. Um, Probably closer to Taken King, but not maybe not as big.
It's got
Well,
some wolves in it.
it has, yeah, it does. It's leaked. It's called the Rise of Iron, which a lot of people are drawing connections between that and Iron Banner because Iron, and then the main character in the front center is, I want to say his name right, or I'm gonna be Lord Saladin. Lord Saladin. It's Salad Inn. Salad Inn. Wow, that's a good name.
Saladin.
Anyway, he's up in the front center of this poster that has leaked before E3, and it looks like he has a hammer and axe, and there's some wolves. But it's going to come with a new raid, which would be very exciting. It would be the game's 4th raid. There's the Vault of Glass, Court of Oryx, and Crota's End. So we'll get a 4th one here. That's going to be Fallen, which I really wish it wasn't Fallen, but whatever. It just sounds like it's
Sometimes I
the
wonder
next
if you're
expansion.
still speaking English when you talk about this game. I really can't
It's,
tell.
I mean, this game is a lot of fun, and it's going to be exciting to have a new expansion. And I'm curious when we're going to actually get it, because we'll see it at Sony's press conference on the 13th. That night.
Are we going to see Destiny 2 at E3, you think?
Nope. They will talk about Rise of Iron, and then
Well, Destiny 2 is coming out next year, though. Right?
yeah, but actually, from the news story, Jason Schreier on Kotaku says he's heard that Destiny 2 was recently rebooted, and Luke Smith, who directed The Taken King, has taken over the project with the staff being reorganized. So I imagine they had to scrap some things, maybe not a bunch, but I think they're taking care of Destiny 2 because it was delayed. So I feel like the main focus is going to be Rise of Iron, and then later this year, after Rise of Iron comes, say Rise of Iron September or October, we'll see Destiny 2 somewhere between, I would say, December and February, and start hyping it up for, a September
It's not a
release
bad idea.
again.
That could be something that they show off at the Game Awards or something like that.
Yeah, like a tease or something, which would get the community into frenzy. It depends. What it depends on is how much content there is in Rise of Iron, because that's what keeps the community going. And if there's not, they'll do the raid, they'll get the gear, but if you can max out pretty quick, then the community is going to die down again like it has now. And then they're going to be waiting a whole year for Destiny 2. So it's going to be interesting to see what they put in there. But, it leaked. We'll get more details at E3. I'm sure I will be very excited about it.
I'm sure you will, and hopefully
You should come back. It's a really good game.
Okay.
Not that I would play with you because I'm a horrible person for not.
Well, I bought Division. I played it for 3 or 4 hours, and
I know it's not your thing, man, but
it's just not. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, well, you listen to PS I Love You still. I mean, Greg's talked about it a lot lately. How eventually you just feel like you're on an endless treadmill where it never really stops. Like you can kind of reach a level cap or something like that, and then you're like, that's it. And then after that, the game can go on as long as you want it to, or you can just decide.
The reason I still play is my fire team. I have 2 other guys that before my PS Plus expired, every weekend we would go in and play the super competitive multiplayer Trials of Osiris. And the 3 of us would do that, and it was just the 3 of us hanging out and playing very competitively, and that's fun. That's all I would do. I'd just pop in on the weekends. But, there's always the reset, and people at the fire teams, I think it's the community that has kept this game alive. If it wasn't for the community, I don't think Destiny would be the thing it is today. I think it'd be like the Division, which apparently is struggling right now.
Is it really? I thought Division was still doing pretty well.
I think the community has hit this kind of wall of, this isn't like, what do we keep doing? There's nothing. There's even less end game content, it sounds like, from community complaints on Twitter than Destiny even has. Like there's nothing for them to do. And apparently it's very glitchy, and PC players are hacking. Like they don't have a control on the community. So I don't know.
They've been good with putting out free updates like every week or 2, I think. New whatever they're called.
Ubisoft.
They're doing a good job of supporting it. But yeah, I think they need to get the next expansion out there, like the full expansion, so that people don't get disinterested, because obviously a bunch of people played it, a bunch of people liked it, wasn't it? It was the highest selling,
I think it's the fastest selling franchise. Ubisoft for sure.
Yeah, newest franchise in Ubisoft's history, I think. I don't think it was like all-time video games or anything like that, but
it beat out Watch Dogs, which was their previous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Darn, we're gonna see Watch Dogs 2 this year, aren't we?
Yeah, probably. I hope it's in San Francisco.
Miami. Cool. All right. But that's all the Destiny. I mean, there's not really much unless you really want to dig in and do speculation, but
the only thing
I don't think you want to do that.
The last thing I want to say about Destiny was we don't have to, I don't know, I'm just curious how they're going to pitch Destiny 2 and how they're going to market it to the people like myself who played it and tried it and got out, to the people like yourself who are still hooked into Destiny 1, and for the people who are kind of still waiting to jump in and they don't know if they should ever, and things like that. So I'm going to be curious to see how they spin it. Like, are you going to be able to
really interesting to
carry over, or is it a complete?
It has to
starting over. I know it is an MMO.
If my character, my weapons, and my armor don't carry over, I'm going to be upset. And I'm not even in the top 1%. I'm not the people that have everything and play 1,000 hours. I'm not them. And if I'm going to be upset, a guy who's only invested a couple 100 hours, I think, I don't know, I'm around a week of my life in that game. So 100, 200 hours. If I'm going to be upset, I know those people will be. And then they've got to bring in new people in the fold, even though you won't play it, but other people. And they've got to make it new and exciting. It's a lot. It's
weird to have a sequel to an MMO that, I mean, it happens.
It's really just going to be a very, very, very big expansion.
They're going to have to blow up the game to like 3 times what it normally already is. I think
it's weird because you'll buy Destiny 2. Destiny 2 will be a separate disc, most likely. It's not going to be some DLC I download. it's going to be a whole new game.
It'll
So
somehow carry over, though. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of
the
it's stored
accounts can carry over for sure because they're all on
Yeah.
Bungie's end.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how they pitch that, but I still doubt I'll ever jump in.
It's so good.
Just,
It's
I
so
don't
much
know.
fun.
So one off thing before we switch to our next story, kind of dealing with Destiny, or not dealing with Destiny at all, but remind me of Destiny. Seems like the new game that people are going to be spending a lot of time with is Overwatch, which came out yesterday. I played the beta. I really liked it. Max, you haven't played it. You were kind of trying to figure out what it was. You thought it was like a MOBA. I told you it's not
has
really
MOBA
like a MOBA.
influence. Like it's a correct.
Class-based shooters have been around since the 90s though. So it's just it's more of a class-based multiplayer shooter.
It's an objective-based first-person shooter with classes and team, like characters with special moves, like ultimate moves or whatever. Right?
I guess I mean, sort of. Mainly, it's just a shooter, and each person has different guns and weapons and skills and stuff like that. Everybody does have a power-up move or an ultra or whatever you want to call it, which I guess is similar to MOBAs. But yeah, I mean, when you say objective-based, it's like it's no different than like capture the flag or
like
team
that's what I
deathmatch.
mean by it. Not like a MOBA where you have to go destroy the enemy base on the other end.
Yeah, nothing League of Legends.
Capture this zone or move this object from point A to point B or something like that. I'm sure that's what it's like.
Yeah, I think the game's. I enjoyed the beta.
People are saying this is amazing.
It got a 10 from Game Informer, and IGN gave it a 9.4.
As their temporary score.
Yeah, which I would imagine is probably going to stick close to. I don't know. I'd like for you to try it. It feels a lot like Team Fortress 2 to me. So.
Oh goodness.
What happened?
Got all staticky on me.
Oh, I did.
Probably because I'm trying. Yeah, that's because I'm probably trying to load this review. Yeah, 9.4 on IGN.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see you try it. Because I played a whole bunch of Team Fortress 2 when I was younger, and I've probably put a couple 100 hours into that game. And class-based shooters are a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the beta with this. I may pick the game up at some point down the road.
Did you play it on Xbox?
I played it on PS4 just because it was easier.
If you bought it, would you play it on PS4?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to decide.
I'd play it on Xbox just because it has more space. My Xbox currently has more space.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to decide. It would depend on where my friends are, because this is one game I'd probably want to play with some friends. It would just depend. I actually probably would get it on Xbox because I already know a few people who have it on this system.
There you go.
So you should definitely give it a shot, though, and let me know what you think.
I tried to look it up on Redbox. It's not there yet, so I'll look in a week or two. You know, this would be a game I would have to play with other people because I would get bored, I think, very quickly with a solely online multiplayer game if I'm not playing with someone I know.
It's fun, though. I mean, it really is a lot of fun. There's a lot of variety in the game and a lot of different characters. So
we will. I'll see how it goes, but
yeah, I may get it in a couple weeks, or I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. If I've got anything to trade in or something like that down the road, maybe I'll snag it. I don't know. Another question I have before we get into the rest of our notable news? Are you getting No Man's Sky day one?
I think so, because my girlfriend is very excited for it.
She is? Okay.
It looks awesome, and so I have it pre-ordered on Amazon. But
I'm trying to decide what to do with it. I think it looks really interesting and fun. The closer we get to release, though, the more I'm actually expecting people to be really disappointed by it. And I know there's really lofty expectations for the game, but just in general, I'm expecting reviews that
how it's
be
going to
all
run.
over the place.
My biggest concern with that game is how it's going to perform.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
5 game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should run fine. I don't know. There might be some lengthy load times if you warp or anything like that.
It seems so flippin' overwhelming, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, I've got it pre-ordered. I've also got Lego Star Wars pre-ordered, so.
As do I, and that comes out the following week. And and then I pre-ordered
on Xbox.
Oh, that's some news we could talk about.
What'd you pre-order?
Batman Return to Arkham got announced last week.
Oh, but
So
it's been leaked forever.
it has been leaked
Did
forever.
you pre-ordered that?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it.
Really?
I love Asylum and City is one of my favorite games.
City is great.
Ever.
I love both those games, but
Yeah.
I don't think I need it right now. It's it's
It'll
a
be
50.
it'll be like the middle of July, so I figured I
mean,
wouldn't
it'll
have
be
anything to do.
your backlog though. Your Persona 4.
I can play that on the go.
Yeah, I've been playing it at home. I actually was looking into PS Vita TVs to play
I was
Persona
thinking
4.
about getting one of those if I
They're
did
only
one.
they're like 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah,
You
no,
already have the PS3 controller, so
they
you just gotta
failed.
play.
They failed big time.
Oh
So,
yeah. But
let's jump back into the news though. We got a
okay.
couple more things. So I didn't read this story, but the rumored to be Xbox One Slim is coming in. I don't know, Max. You tell me about
All
it.
right.
So Xbox
So
One Slim. We've heard about a new Xbox SKU for a while now.
there's rumors of a new Xbox. If any of you have seen an Xbox One, you know it's as big as a VHS player, which is
Bigger.
true. I mean, but the thing is dead quiet. I'll give it that. It's silent.
Is your PS4 starting to get loud? Since you've had it
Um,
since day one, like I have.
no, I mean,
Mine's
my
getting
PS4 is
loud.
out. It's in the open. It's not in like a cabinet or boxed away, so it can
Yeah.
breathe better. I do if I move it out in the living room, I've put it in the cabinet before, and that cabinet is notorious for getting hot anyway. So I think it gets loud in there. But I don't notice it getting loud, like bothersome loud or something.
I
That would
notice
make me
it.
upset.
I've noticed that it's gotten louder, but yeah, mine it doesn't sound like a jet engine or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
I've heard people complain about the jet engine thing, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, there's this Xbox One Slim, about 40% smaller, not announced, it's rumored coming out to be revealed at E3 later this year. 2016 is when it will come out. And then we've got the rumored Xbox Scorpio is the code name, and that's going to be a more powerful Xbox One. It's going to be like a PS 4.5 equivalent with an upgraded GPU, and it's going to be more powerful than the current Xbox One, and that would be a 2017 release. So
is this equivalent to the 4.5, or is it kind of more equivalent to the last generation Xbox 360 Slim, where it's just a little bit better internals, but not as drastic of an upgrade as the rumored 4.5?
They both are. The Slim, the one that would come out this year, that's equivalent to the Xbox 360 of last generation.
So
But
in theory, that would just be like the new standard
Xbox
One that they would push. Okay.
Then the Scorpio, the codename Scorpio, that would be an equivalent to a 4.5. It is a mid-tier, well, not mid-tier. It's that annual upgrade. It really sounds like the industry, as far as consoles goes, is moving toward
the S model,
like an animal. Yeah, the iPhone model of put out systems more frequently that are more powerful, which sounds sucky for both consumers and developers, because the difference between that and PC is a PC you can upgrade by buying parts and putting them in there, and developers just kind of build the ability for players to scale it based off internals. But if you have an upgraded console, all of a sudden you're developing for two separate consoles because you want Mirror's Edge Catalyst to run on your regular PS4 and your regular Xbox One.
Soon.
Yeah, that comes out in a couple of weeks. And then,
did you ever
look good and run
play the first one of that? Sorry to ruin your rant. Did you ever play the first Mirror's Edge?
Oh, I love the first Mirror's Edge. My friends and I binged it in one sitting at a friend's house.
Did you use guns?
I think we used them like occasionally. I mean,
I didn't. I went through a whole no gun run.
Wow, that's good.
That was interesting.
The game looks stupid pretty. I'm really excited for it. I want to probably get it on Xbox if I get it. It's one of those cult classics, man. You gotta love it.
It might be one of those ones I wait to get, or maybe even rent, depending on how long it is.
Yeah, I want to see reviews,
I rented Doom a couple
but I'm
weeks
very
ago.
excited for it. I'm very excited. Anyway,
sorry to ruin your rant.
You're good. These new Xboxes are just kind of, it's the typical rumors, and at E3 in a couple of weeks, we'll most likely see the Slim Xbox, which I think was bound to happen anyway because the Xbox One is so big.
Yeah, I do
Like the
too.
slim just is a natural thing. I did just buy my Xbox kind of at the tail end of last year. Actually like a week after Halo 5 came out. I'm not mad or anything because I love my Xbox is dead quiet. It's the terabyte model. It's got a ton of space.
If you've got the shelf space, then it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it's not. I've got it. I can send you a picture later. It's like above my PS4, but
I think I've seen your setup before.
yeah, it's good. I mean, it does the job. I'm not too concerned about it. But when it gets to these S models, as we could call them, that's when I'm going to be, what do I do? We've got VR coming. Oh, the Scorpio is rumored to potentially, Microsoft's trying to strike a deal with Oculus, which kind of makes sense because Oculus is actually can come with an Xbox One controller, but the Scorpio would be able to run Oculus, which would be the console equivalent of PSVR for Xbox, which makes sense because I don't think HoloLens is solely video game practical. I think they're trying to do the AR stuff throughout life, which makes sense for the HoloLens. But, we got PSVR coming. NX is next year, and we still don't know anything about.
Go listen to episode number 38 or 39 or 40 maybe and hear me yell at Nintendo about that.
Well, one day we'll see it, one day. But anyway, it's just the reason I game on consoles instead of a PC is so I don't have to keep upgrading.
Have to keep on upgrading. Yeah, because I mean, it's going to get really expensive if this is the future of gaming.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be.
I mean, they've been kind of trying to drag me kicking and screaming into this new possible future, even though we still have not seen or heard anything from the actual companies.
Find out in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we will, and it's probably going to be a thing that happens for sure. I've been so against this, but I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that this might just be the way the industry is going. Do I like it? No, because my wallet doesn't like it. I'm starting to accept it, though, that this is just kind of going to have to be how it is. I don't want to be shelling out $200 or $300 every couple of years, but
because unlike a cell phone, video game consoles aren't on contracts where the cost of the item gets hidden in your monthly bill. And really where it comes to a problem for me, because, is when the games are going to start looking better and my games on my system will run like crap, or they get exclusives because this system can do more. I can live with Uncharted 4 on my PS4 now running perfectly smooth and looking gorgeous, and then some PS4.5 version just looking a little better, or maybe the campaign runs at 60 frames.
But what if the PS4.5 sucked you into the game and that's how it made it look better and more realistic?
Like literally sucked me in?
Yes, it's like jumping into the TV, like on that one old show.
No, I don't need that in my life.
It's like Chalk Zone, but TV.
Oh my gosh, I remember that show. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. No, it's not gonna suck me in. But when God of War, when God of War 4 or Xbox Recore, you remember Recore? When that game runs buttery smooth on the Xbox Scorpio and it barely runs on my Xbox One, that's a problem. And that's where I'm gonna feel like I'm punished for.
Or it could be reversed. Who knows? Maybe the developers are gonna optimize them for the regular system at first and then try to upgrade it to the newer systems, the Scorpio and the 4.5, and maybe those are the ones that don't run as well. So I think there's going to be issues like that all over the place once these things do come out.
Falls on the devs, which sucks because now they're building for two systems.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why Sony would want to release it. Of course, if they end up releasing the 4.5 later this year, I'm still trying to figure out why they would want to release it on top of VR and not kind of let that breathe and let that be its own thing, and then maybe try to push the 4.5 out early next year or something like that. So
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they even talk about it.
I feel like they will.
Sony has to hear the negative outcry over all these rumors. So
I agree. They have to
the messaging, and so does Microsoft. Announcing a slim version of your current system is not bad. It's happened for generations. It's happened with the PS2. It's happened with the PS3, Xbox,
happened with that.
OG thin Xbox, but
I don't think they did. I don't know if they did with OG.
they
I don't think
didn't.
they.
But
I don't think
even
they
in
did.
portable systems, you've got the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy SP,
And then
then
the Game Boy
PSP went through.
Micro.
Yeah, the PS. Well, that's special. And then the PSP went through 3 iterations, and your DS, your 3DS,
The
so on and
Vita's
so
done
forth.
it at this point as
It's
well.
yeah, smaller versions are better, but I'm not sure how I feel about these
Yeah, it's going to be
more
interesting. This is
powerful
definitely.
models.
Yeah, the half model thing is strange. This is going to be something I think we for sure end up talking about during our E3 shows. This is going to be the highlight of this
It'll
year's
be
show.
interesting.
If I had to take a guess, this and I would say PSVR, but I don't know how much they're going to keep pushing that at this point. I feel like
Well,
we
they
kind of
have
already
to.
know what it is, and we've already those of us who wanted have pre-ordered it, and it's kind of
We
been
got to see the exclusive games. We got to see Sony Ben's a VR exclusive game.
what's their game supposed to be?
Dead No More. Dead No More.
Dead No More, Dead Riders.
Dead No More to the internet
I
on the
think
phone.
I think it's Dead No More or something like that.
Let's look it up.
Anyway, you look that up. I'm going to transition to our next story, which deals with very bad
Oh
Kickstarter
my
game
gosh.
by Mr. Kizik Inafune? KG Inafune?
KJ Inafune.
Yes. So, Mighty Number 9, the game that has been delayed as many times as the number in the title.
Probably.
Yeah, probably at this point.
Dead Don't Ride.
Dead Don't Ride. I thought it was something like that.
Dead Don't Ride. That is the name, the potential name of Sony Ben's game.
Name that Shinobi leaked.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
You're good. So, Mighty Number 9, finally coming out next month. Finally, maybe.
They put a release date at the end of this trailer, so
big deal.
Trailers make things official.
Hopefully that online mode is exactly how they want it to be at this point, because I gotta tell you, I would not want to play this game and have the online component be messed up of all things. So
the wonderful online price score system. All right.
Yeah.
So the day we're recording this is the 25th of May.
They just came out with a new trailer a couple hours ago that looks like hot trash.
Not only, I don't know what's more bothersome, how ugly the game looks, how
I didn't think it looked ugly.
Oh, that game looks rough, man.
It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look like
when they zoom in on Beck. Beck is the name of the character. When they zoom in on Beck, he honestly looks like a PlayStation 1, 2, probably a 2 character model. Like, he does not look good. I don't know if it's how ugly the game looks or how awful the dialogue was for the.
Well, the dialogue is definitely the worst part. It's definitely the worst part. The gameplay looks weird too, though. Like,
I mean, that honestly, that looks like what the original concept was. Like, nothing looks like it's evolved. It's all about dashing and all about combos.
It just it just looks like dash all over the place, the game. And
I'm really worried about this because this could be, and the internet could correct me if I'm wrong, this could be the very first majorly funded Kickstarter game
that crashes and burns.
Like the first major one, because when Mighty Number 9 was announced, its Kickstarter skyrocketed. It was all over the place. People were praising.
It was like the first or second really huge one behind Double Fine's adventure game. Double Fine
really kind of trailblazed the big indie games on Kickstarter, but this could be the first big commercial failure. Other games that come up to mind, I didn't put it in the news, but Playtonic, the people behind Yooka-Laylee, just put out a bunch of new stuff, and they're going to talk about new things for E3.
Yes.
And that game
looks amazing.
It looks gorgeous, very nostalgic, very pretty. I'm very excited to see that game running. They've handled their messaging so far. They haven't promised a date yet, which I think is very smart. But I think they're actually a lot closer to being done than we think they are. I think that's a this year game.
Max, it looks so good.
It does.
That's exactly what I want. Oh my gosh.
And your reaction right now is what Mega Man fans thought when Mighty Number 9 was announced.
Mighty Number 9, yeah.
And this game looks rough. Like it's in a rough spot, and I'm very worried that its reviews are going to be very, very poor.
I mean,
And
if they are,
I'm worried that the millions of people that donated are going to be very upset and
I think
disappointed.
the people who donated are already upset, and the game hasn't even come out because one, it's been delayed 50 times. Two, this trailer today is not doing it any favors,
None
and
at all.
it's just I think people are already really mad that they donated to this because it hasn't come through at all.
It, I'm very worried about it. It's the end of the month. My number 9. It's going to be on everything except 3DS and Vita at launch, I
I wouldn't
believe.
say I'm worried about it because I
I'm-
didn't know how big it was going to be in the first place or anything like that. I'm more feel bad for the fans who really wanted this because I thought it looked interesting. I thought I might give it a shot. I thought I might play it. Probably not now. It looks like it should be an indie game, not like a retail game. And I don't.
I mean, it is an indie game. It's cheaper. I think retail it's like $30 or
Yeah,
something.
kind of. I guess. I know it's not a $60 game, but it looks like something that you'd download off of Xbox Live Arcade 5 years ago. Like it looks like in the
It
same
looks
vein
really old.
as Explosion Man or something like that. If you know what that game is,
Uh-uh.
it looks something like that. It just isn't.
I'm
It just looks boring
God
too.
help that game, man. God help that game.
Like yeah. And then what was the big line from the trailer?
And make here quote verbatim quote and make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night. End quote.
Do they not know who their audience is?
Who
The people who are
wrote
going to play
that?
this
I
game
mean,
are the same people
the
who watch anime.
look at the thumbnail for the YouTube video of the trailer.
Throw it in our show notes so I can see it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's actually the link in the show notes.
Oh, it is the link in the show notes? Here, let
That
me
takes
pull
you
it
to the
up.
article, and it's the first thing you see. The explosion alone, and listeners, I'll put a link in our description so you can go directly to the YouTube video and see. Actually, to the article so you
No,
can
it's
see the
fine.
thumbnail.
I see the thumbnail. The thumbnail looks awful. That's the
It's
thumbnail. It's just a picture.
It's
That's
a
just
picture
with an
of
explosion.
Jack running. There's some explosions and very blocky everything. It's so. I'm writing down right. Add thumbnail thing. It's so ugly looking. I can't. Oh yeah, I forgot they had Concept had another Kickstarter fail. I think this game is very worrisome, but we'll see. We'll see what the
okay,
reviews
so
say.
despite the fact that it doesn't look good, and despite the fact that the voiceover was awful, I'm wondering if it's fun at all because the gameplay doesn't look like it looks kind of boring, but it doesn't look terrible by any means. It looks fast, and it looks like you said earlier, they haven't implemented upon the original idea that they had for the game since it was on Kickstarter. Just the dashing around and killing everything really quick, which isn't necessarily a bad thing that they haven't implemented on it since then, but is what they have enough? Like that's the question. I mean, I would say that the original Mega Man games have a lot more depth than you would think they would just looking at it, watching somebody play it. There's definitely a lot more going on in those games than you would realize until you play it yourself. So I'm wondering if the game's going to actually have a little bit more depth and be a little bit more fun than we're expecting it to be. That said, this trailer I was kind of on the fence about picking it up. It's only $30. I figured I'd give it a shot. I like the old Mega Man games. They're fun to play. The trailer didn't do any favors, though. If I'm going to throw $30 towards a game, it's going to be like $30 that goes towards the purchase of buying Overwatch or something like that at this point. Or like, maybe when it goes on sale or something like that, I'll consider picking it up. But if it gets good reviews, I've still heard people say that the gameplay itself is pretty fun because
man.
backers who have played the demos and stuff like that, because they release demos for those who back it and things like that. They've said that it's actually pretty fun. So I'm wondering how it is going to turn out. I wonder what the reviews will be like. That said, the development cycle on this game has been trapped in development hell for years. And when it should be considered a small victory that it's actually going to release at the end of the month.
It's pretty bad. I was looking this up while you were talking, because it just popped in my head, like really big Kickstarter games that Sounded really good. Um, do you remember Bloodstained Ritual of the
Yeah,
Night?
Bloodstained
Holy
Symphony of the
cow!
Night or
Because Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Ritual of the Night, not Symphony of the Night.
Holy cow! Because I've had this itch to play.
Castlevania for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, and this could very well scratch it. And I'm curious to hear about this game because it's gonna come. It's coming to every platform except 3DS.
It
It's
comes
gonna
out
be.
next year, I think.
I think I don't know. We'll
Because
hear.
they
Hopefully,
hadn't
we'll hear about it.
they had barely started development when they
Mhm.
launched the
It was like
Kickstarter, I
art and
think.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Same with
They had a
Mighty
bunch
Number
to
9.
do.
I don't know, but that's another really big one. I know Shovel Knight is obviously a success, and
Ukulele's probably going to be a
ukulele.
success.
I mean, that's another big
The
one.
Double Fine Adventure game, I'd say, was a success. Broken Age was a success.
And Double Fine just did Psychonauts 2 on
Psychonauts
Fig.
2, which they did on Fig, yeah. I
So
forgot about that. What is that? 2018, I think.
2018, I think.
That should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. The
Never
first
played
one's
it.
really unique.
Isn't it? I think the first one's on PS4. Back in Pat.
Is it on? Is it? Did they release it on PS4? Huh?
Yeah.
You should check that out.
I'll look into it right now. But I mean,
I mean, you
unless
should
there's
check
anything
that
else
for
you want to say
yourself.
about the news,
Yeah.
I think that's it, man. Like that game.
Yeah, that's the news for Mighty Number 9. It doesn't look great, so be wary before you
We'll
run
find
out to
out
your
tomorrow.
local
This
GameStops or Walmarts or disc houses of any sort and throw the money on the table because might want to be one that you look at a little bit closer before you decide to pick it up. So,
Wait for reviews or watch that trailer and decide for yourself because that trailer is ugly,
yeah, I mean,
top to bottom.
I've played some ugly games though.
Psycho.
Yeah,
Selling Psychonauts, right?
it should be. I think it is on PS4.
It's on. It's $5. PS2 Classic, playable on PS3. Where's my PS4 version?
I don't think they have it out for PS4, but they at least have it on PS3 and 360. I think.
I don't want to plug my.
Time to play it, Max, and more importantly, time to play Ocarina of Time. Yeah, it's far. That's much past due.
Time. Here, okay. Classic Psychonauts comes to PS4 this spring. PlayStation blog. So it's just. I guess we're still in the spring technically. So I don't think it looks remastered, but
their cycle's really weird. Yeah, it's not remastered or anything like that. That's how those PS2 games are that come out on PS4. It's pretty much the exact same game.
Yeah, but it's coming
trophies,
to PS4.
Though, is trophies gonna be on it?
Yeah, most PS2 classics have trophies. Like Kevin just platinumed Bully.
Hey Kevin, I hope you kill all them spiders soon, dude.
So yeah, all right. It's Psychonauts is coming. Anyway.
That's notable news for the week, people. Watch out for Destiny expansions, new Xboxes, and Mighty Number 9s being real bad and stuff. We will take our quick break like we always do, and we'll be back in just a moment with our topics, which I don't know if we have thought of yet. So allow us to brainstorm during this quick break, and we will be right back. Okay. Back in 1 second. So we're going to explain our thingy. Hi, YouTube people. Hi, viewers. We got to figure out what we're doing because
this is audio magic. We could honestly just talk about the top game segment if you don't want this episode to be super long.
That's fine. I'm actually okay with that. Just give everybody a heads up on what we're going to do coming up and leave it at that.
Leave it at that, and then next week we'll do it the first one. And
okay, so let me get my.
I don't really have any other topics off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything either. So we'll just explain what we're planning on doing for like the next 5 or 6 weeks and go from there.
Hold on, I just got an email. That's
yin yang email.
Yeah, I just got 2 emails that are important. Work schedule for next week and the IGN email.
At the Chick-fil-A?
Uh-huh. Let me
What are you working?
Hard drive, John, because I do have that bumper. Sorry, this is.
Do you need it? Do you need to do this now?
It'll be really quick. I just need
to say we can wrap up within like 10 minutes if you want.
I just need to make sure I have it. That's all. I'm not. I can upload it to Drive later and send it to him. I'm putting my hard drive just to see if I have it. I don't want to tell him I have it and then not have it.
That's fine. I'm gonna write down a couple notes here, and then we'll jump back.
Right, Witcher. Let me see if this is what I think it is. I think this is it.
Are you getting blood and wine early?
No, I actually didn't tell you this. I got. I'm not doing it because they weren't getting a PS4 copy ahead of time, so they needed someone on it right away. And so they gave it to a different freelancer.
What are you doing next then?
Hitman, episode 3.
You're just on that still.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, sent that. I'm sure my schedule is similar. Oh goodness, that's a different Monday. I'm fine with that. Do the
Just
truck.
another
Do the Thursday. The rest is the same. Monday's weird though. 2 to 7. That's weird. Okay.
Don't forget to ask for E3 off.
I already did. I already sent that email. I should get a response Monday.
You have to say my pleasure every time you work at Chick-fil-A.
I'm in the back, so I actually haven't had to say it yet.
Oh, how much do they stress that you have to say that?
No one in upper management has told me to say it because I'm in the back, so I don't see the customer.
Yeah. I was wondering if that was like because they all say it. It's like they're indoctrinated. It's like my favorite restaurant though. But
dude, I love it.
I'm
not sick of it yet. It's only been a week though, so
I can't believe you have to work so early.
That's just to unload the truck.
Yeah. And I should be good in 1 second. So this will take place over the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, prep your little speech.
Yep, I'm getting them all jotted down here. And this will allow us to look over our own stuff. All right, cool. I'm ready to hop back in if you are.
Yeah.
Hey, you two people. Thanks for sticking through with us while we figure out all this nonsense.
Okay, cool.
Usually
I'm ready. We just need to clap back in, and I need to check the clock. Checking the clock.
All right, let's clap.
Uno,
dos, tres. Clap, clap, clap.
I gotta write this time down. 54.
54.
54. All right.
54.
I always snap, and I should not snap because it looks like a clap on the audio link. All right, count us in.
I just snapped, so that's going to look like a clap. All right, we will jump back in and explain our new fun project in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Millennial Gaming Speak. I am Logan Moore, and that other dude you'll hear is Max Roberts. So,
hello.
Topics this week. Kind of not really topics. More of an explanation of what we're going to be doing going forward with our topics.
New for the next couple of weeks. It's an idea that I kind of threw at Logan, and he liked it, and we talked it out.
I took it one step further.
You did. You took it. We came up with this new idea. So, Logan, tell the people what we're going to be doing over the course of 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think I've got this broken down into a 6-week thing. So for the next 6 weeks, the topic portion of our show is going to contain, this is what, we're going to break it down into these sections. And so Max texted me last week and he said, what's that?
I said, let's tell the people what it is before we talk about the sections.
Yeah, I will. So Max texted me last week and he was talking about his favorite games ever, his all-time favorite games. And with Uncharted 4 coming out, that's obviously Max's new favorite game. If you listen to our Uncharted 4 review / spoiler cast episode, and he started trying to figure out what his top 5, top 10 favorite games would be of all time.
Very quickly.
Yes.
I was like, oh, this is obviously a list. And then, oh, but what about this game or this game? And it got really crowded. And I thought it was an interesting discussion in my own head. And I wanted to share that with Logan. And then it turned into this. So we've never really
discussed our favorite games of all time on the show. We've been around for 42 episodes now, so figure we may as well do that. But we're going to make it a long, drawn-out process. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to break it down into 6 sections based on console generation. So, for example, we're going to have 1 week focus on... okay, so first off, week 1 is going to be a little bit weird because we're millennials. We haven't played as many old games, and that's kind of the point of the show. You listen to our perspective of being guys who grew up not really playing NESs and all the old stuff. So the first week is going to be the grouping of our top. Do you want to do top 5? Let's do top 10. Let's do top 10.
I honestly think it should vary depending. Top 10? You want top 10 per generation?
I think that could work. We don't have to dwell on them too long.
It together, top 10. I'm good with that.
So we're going to do a top 10 of the best console games of each generation. So week 1 is going to be the generation. It's not really a generation, but sort of. So it's going to be our top 10 favorite games from the NES, Super Nintendo, Atari, Genesis, arcade, anything early like that is going to be grouped into one section.
And the reason that particular chunk is grouped so much is, like Logan said, we really didn't play too many of those games. If we only did, say, the NES, I seriously would only have 2 games that I've actually played that I could contribute to that list. And it's not very full. But if we clump things together, we can flesh that list out a little bit better. We
can do a little bit more with it, and we can kind of finagle with it. And if we include more consoles, we can put more games into it. So that first one's going to be a little bit stacked with more consoles. And to clarify, we're not going to have our 10 favorite NES games or 10 favorite Super Nintendo games. It's going to be our 10 favorite out of all of those consoles.
So you could have like 3 NES games, 2 Super Nintendo games, and a couple of Genesis games.
So on and so forth. So that's going to be week 1.
Was it the Genesis? Yeah.
Yeah, so the Genesis, because I grew up with the Genesis. That was my first console ever. So
did you get that? Was it the Mega Drive, the 32-bit drive?
I don't think so. No.
Oh,
I did not. I didn't get any of the add-ons. I just had the
Genesis was notorious for its add-ons.
Yeah, I think I got the model that was like they came out with a model later on that was like not built to have all the add-on stuff to it. So I think that was the model that I ended up having. So week 1's going to be a little bit compact and a little bit tight with a bunch of games. After that, week 2 is going to contain late 90s stuff we're a little bit more familiar with and stuff that fits a little bit more together and makes a little bit more sense. So week 2 is going to have our top 10 favorite N64, PS1, Dreamcast, and Game Boy/Game Boy Color. We're going to start including handhelds as well. I thought about making handhelds their own thing, but I figure it would make more sense if we put them together with the games with the other systems that were out around that time. So that's going to be week 2, our top 10 favorite from that. And then it gets into the original Xbox is week 3, along with PlayStation 2, GameCube, and the Game Boy Advance. Week 4 will be the Xbox 360, the PS3, the Wii, the DS, the PSP. Week 5 will be the PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, the PlayStation Vita, and the Nintendo 3DS. And then finally, week 6 will be our favorite games of all time. And so originally we thought of just doing our favorite games of all time, and I told Maxwell, why don't we break it down into generations and try to figure out what our favorites are of each of the generations that we've played throughout our lives. And then after we get it broken down into those sections, maybe it'll be a little bit easier for us to flesh out what our favorites are of all time, because we'll be able to go back through the list we've already made and say, yes, I like this from the PlayStation 2 generation. Yes, I like this from the Xbox One, things like that. It'll be a little bit easier to pick and choose what our favorites are. And this way we don't forget about any games. We're fleshing out all of the generations of consoles. And when we do get to our favorite games of all time, nothing will have hopefully skipped our minds. So
But we're starting this next week.
Yes.
And it's going to go on during and through E3. Obviously, like we're going to have special E3 episodes like last year, maybe not as many, but so those won't like cross over, and we won't do E3 and then talk about favorite games. This section will only be in the numbered episodes.
Yes.
And it's going to be our topic. I think it should be our topic for those 6 episodes.
Yes. So our topic section for the next 6 numbered episodes. So from episode 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, and 48 is going to be our favorites. And that's going to be our topic portion of the show for the next 6 episodes that we do. And yeah, that's about it. So that's our idea. That's what we got to start doing. We're going to have to start making our list now and figure out what we want to add for week 1. If you're listening to the show, we would love to hear what your favorites are along with ours. Maybe shoot us some ideas on our Twitter account or at our email. We're on Twitter at MGS Podcast. You can shoot us an email at mgspodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what your favorites are. Maybe you will remind us of something that we will have forgotten when we come out with our list. So we're trying to be as thorough as possible with each of the generations so that we don't forget anything. But yeah, next week's going to start. So I think everything I have here for week 1. So next week's list is going to be the NES, the SNES, the Atari. I mean, we can go deep with this. You can go the Atari, all of the other, all of the other weird consoles that came out before the NES, all the crazy ones. The Sega Genesis we're going to group in there as well. And then I told Max I think we should do an arcade because there's some arcade games I love that are from that generation. And I don't know if you will like any of them. Yeah, there's Pac-Man, there's Galaga, there's Donkey Kong. Stuff like that I think should be up for grabs as well because gaming really did start in arcades.
Pong.
And it,
Ping, pong, pong,
Pong.
Pong.
Did they say Pong when the ball hits? It says
No.
Pong, Pong, Pong as it goes back and forth.
No.
So I think we should include arcade as well because there's a lot of old arcade games that I love to play.
I'd love the sound of it.
So that's week 1. We've got those 5. We'll put them on our Twitter account as well, MGS Podcast, and you can follow along. You can make your own top 10 list. So that's what we're gonna do next 6 weeks. That is our plan. We'll each read our list back and forth to each other. If you listened to our Game of the Year episode a couple weeks ago, or not a couple of weeks ago, a couple months ago now, I guess, our Game of the Year episode where we each had our lists and we went back and forth with it. Probably be something similar to that. Since it is a top 10, we'll probably want to keep it moving a little bit more and not as dwell too much so we don't spend 3 hours an episode talking about each game. But
yeah, really, I'm sure there will be some crossover, especially early on as well. So like we won't have to, retread too much ground.
Yeah.
I honestly think when we get to the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox era, that is when you and I are going to start differing because I got a PS2 very late and I never had an original Xbox. And I really spent a lot of my gaming that generation on the GameCube. But you, as my understanding, had them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
plus, there's a bunch of good Game Boy games. Can't forget about the handhelds.
I don't believe me. That Game Boy Advance, I still remember getting it. Yeah. I still remember getting my SP. I still remember getting my Color, my DS, DSi. Like I remember getting every handheld I've ever bought.
Yeah, I do too. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be interesting. Something fun to do for the next couple of weeks with our topics section, so that we can just quit coming in here with random things to talk about. Got a little bit more structure for the next couple of weeks, and I think it's going to be interesting. Max, the one other thing I will want to ask you. So with our list, well, yeah, obviously it's got to be in order, I would think. So it's not just 10 random ones. So like here's 10 unordered. Rank them from 1 being your favorite of that generation, 10 being obviously still one of your favorites, but least favorite of the 10. Yeah. So it's not. So it's 10 in order, not just
BuzzFeed style list.
Yes. So it is in order from least favorite to most favorite. Just to be clear, not 10 random grab bag. These are all good games type thing. So I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to say about this.
Kind of covers it. I'm very excited about this. It's been on my mind lately. Honestly, by week 5 when we get to the Vita, I may have beaten Persona 4 by then if my schedule lets me play it.
That's not a bad idea.
Persona might jump on the list here in the next 5 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see if that list changes at all in between now and then. But
it's going to get really hairy when we get into PS3 and Xbox 360 and stuff like that. Because we'll have to start taking into account indie games as well, which kind of came alive during those console generations. So it's going to get intense. So
it's going to be
make sure you don't forget anything. Because if I bring something up or you bring something up on the show and one of us says, "Oh, I forgot that it was out there,"
we can't revise our list live.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to make sure that we do it well. So
be thorough.
With that, I think that's everything we wanted to do for episode 42 here.
We just want to give you everyone the rundown as our topic this week before we actually dive into it.
Yes, give you all
Build
a
the
heads
hype
up
a little
and
bit.
let you know where we're coming from. Again, if you would like to do this with us, we would love nothing more. We would love to hear your favorite top 10 lists of games from these generations. I'll post these on Twitter week by week, telling you what our groupings are going to be as we go along so that you don't forget. But yeah, we would love to hear your top 10 lists as we go along. So please tweet yours at us or email us. As I said earlier, you can email us at mgspodcast@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or concerns or top 10 lists. And you can hit us up on Twitter at MGS Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I am at Moreman12. You can follow Max on Twitter. He is at Max the White.
Yeah, where's the third? The lower third.
Go.
It's right. It's right there.
Yes. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see our Twitter accounts. And our lower thirds we've had up the whole show. And other than that, I think that's it for this week. A little bit shorter of a show than we normally do, but
well, like you said, we're in this lull of news right before E3, so
it's gonna get hairy when our crossover between E3 happens and our top 10 lists are happening, and
it's gonna be nice and fun, exciting. I don't know. It's gonna be
gonna
good.
be fun.
I'm gonna have a blast.
There's gonna be a lot for you listeners to put in your ear holes.
Love the ear holes.
A lot to put in your ear holes over the next couple weeks. So we hope you enjoy it, and we hope you also have a good week. We love you. See you next week on episode 43. Bye-bye, everybody.
So, adios. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, bye, everybody on YouTube.